Alright, hey howdy, it's Lameboy. I thought on the Lame Opinions channel, it's time to expand our media choices, and instead of just focusing on games, to maybe go into movies too. Because admittedly, without my girlfriend home, I've been able to watch a lot of movies. I've caught up on a lot of them. But one that caught my eye in particular interest was the new Frankenstein with Guillermo del Toro as the director for the scenes. And if you don't know who Guillermo del Toro is, he's really famous for just making really compelling looking monsters. Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy, those are pretty good examples of Guillermo del Toro's work. He's been in other things too, but his main focus is to make monsters look compelling, realistic, friendly, but also terrifying. It's a really weird mix of things that he can do. Also spoilers. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. These have spoilers. And the Frankenstein that I watched is interesting. I mean, okay, let's break down some things. First off, it very much follows Mary Shelley's book, right? Just by what people are saying and what the director is saying and all the other, additive information that this is more close to the book, yada yada yada. You get the drift. Am I the monster or is the monster a monster? Duh. That kind of stuff. But it was closer to the Robert De Niro Frankenstein. Now, there's multiple iterations of Frankenstein, just like starting with Frankenstein monster. That was just fear factoring on the monster from Mary Shelley's book, and then kind of deviated from the plot entirely. And then they swung the needle back, I don't know when the Robert De Niro one came out, like the late 90s or something. They swung the needle back so hard, where they had iterations that were closer to the book, where you start going over the pros and cons of what this doctor did. And that's what Mary Shelley was trying to do in her book, to really dissect the aspects of a human and the human existence and see what really is human with, creating a human as opposed to living the human experience. And I thought they did a really good job on that. It's still very Robert De Niro monster-like. They started near the end, you backtrack, and then you get to the part where he's like, "I'm sorry, son." And the monster's like, "It's okay, Dad. I'm sorry." Okay, cool. That's great. I really like how they dissected it in parts too, where they have the prelude, i.e. the old fisherman, not even fisherman, the old boat captain, that's like, "Oh my god, sis, tell me more? Wait, what? Oh, geez, he did that?" Man was gobbling up the stories. He was sitting there just as a bystander. He's like, "Stranger on my boat? Wait a second, you got a story for me? Oh, we ain't got nothing else going on. My men are dying out there in the cold trying to get our boat out. I've got time to listen to whatever." And then when the monster comes in, busts through the door, he's like, "Yo, I just heard your master's story." He's like, "Yo, dog, let me tell you the other side of the coin." He's like, "What? I am sad. Let me hear this right now." He just listens to this whole life story from two yappers. Holy, that is hilarious to me. But I love the perspectives that they give, so they give you a complete story on, like, the three moving parts. The other thing I want to mention right now, while I'm thinking about it, is in the middle of the monsters part and Frankenstein's part is the redheaded girl. Now, in other iterations, I gotta say, that love interest sometimes is taken by Frankenstein himself and then killed subsequently by, like, whatever. And in other versions, Frankenstein takes the dead girl and turns it into his bride, the thing that he's asking for in this movie. I like some of that stuff, to say the least. What I found very strange is this girl is 100% certified a monster fucker. There is no two ways around this. This girl was looking at that tall, scalped man, that grafted man, and was like, "You know what sounds good? Let me see what's grafted underneath those bandages, baby." Shoo-wee! Like, what? We see her for multiple scenes, which I were lovey-dovey. I skipped it all. I can't do it. I just skipped it all. So for the 5 scenes that we see her, which kind of made a significant presence, this movie moved quick. Actually, the pacing was good. Side note. At the very end, she's like, I loved you all the time. Girl, you saw the monster twice. Once when he was in chains, and then the other time when he comes out handsome with like hair and a bald spot. I am so confused by that. That's crazy. Other thing I just thought of is in the scenes when, you know, you get to Frankenstein chasing the monster, because Frankenstein can't reason with himself that he's doing harm and the monster is actually a kind-hearted soul, and he's chasing him across the ends of the earth, which is also a very expensive trip, that this monster that he tried to kill, which he, you know, alluded to at the very beginning, he's like, I've tried everything. I've tried it all. This thing just doesn't die. Why does Frankenstein monster have the X factor from X-Men? This guy regenerates completely. It doesn't matter what happened. The guy held onto a bomb and then just regenerated his flesh like nothing happened. What? That is the most confusing part. In every other Frankenstein, this man, if Frankenstein monster got hurt, of course Frankenstein is like a zombie type monster, I guess, if you're gonna categorize it. If he got hurt, he would have to just reattach another arm, because you gotta remember, Frankenstein read the notes. He knows exactly what to do. He is red. So with his research, he can do what it is, you know? Frankenstein's research was pretty cut and dry. He's like, this is how you do it. This is how you can do it again. I'm not touching it. So Frankenstein's like, well, shoot, I'm missing a leg because something happened. Sew me up. Good to go. Other thing I don't get, why does Frankenstein not have his Frankenstein birthmark, or his Frankenmark, as you can call it, right? First Frankenstein we ever know about, bolt to the neck. Every other Frankenstein after that, bolts in the neck. Not Van Helsing. What's his name? Is it Van Helsing? What's the werewolf hunter? I think it's Van Helsing. Okay. Van Helsing's Frankenstein has the battery heart. The green glowing battery heart. This one has the battery at the beginning, but it's not on his person after that? I'm confused. And I want to add that I think at the very beginning, in the prelude, that you do see it, but it just disappears. I don't know. I think that was a weird addition to Frankenstein Monster, because I feel like Guillermo del Toro did such a good job with the Angel of Death and Michael, but he doesn't like add the battery pack on the monster or the person, whatever. Weird. I don't know. I don't know if that felt right to me, because I feel like a significant part of what makes Frankenstein, besides his inner qualms of becoming himself and forgiving his creator and having all the stitching, is the Frankenmark, right? Those are like the 4 main components, or however many I just listed off, of Frankenstein. Weird. Otherwise, the movie was, you know, You could watch the Robert De Niro one, and it's pretty much the same. There's no deviation to it, really. It's newer, it's flashier, the effects are cooler. I think that's pretty much the gist of it. And yeah, thanks for listening and watching. Cheers.